Jason, where are you, man? You look like you're in a van going over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house. You go.
I am, but it's actually grandfather's house, and it is a van though, and we're currently in New York City, so we're just taking about an hour to get a couple blocks, the New York way. It's good.
Typical.
Very cool. It's Jave and Andy from Two Dudes Reviews, and we're here with Jason. We were actually making fun of your name, and I can make fun of anyone's. I can make fun of anyone's name because I've got a name Jave, and I get Jane, and I get Have, and Jav, and Dave, and Jay, and so we were looking at Jason Aalon, or is it just Jason Aalon? How do you pronounce is that your middle name? Butler's your last name?
No, it's my first name. My first name is Jason Aalon. My middle name is Alexander, and my last name is Butler.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, that's long, man.
Jason Aalon.
Yeah.
Is that
what's with Aalon? What's the origin history?
My dad is a bit arrogant and wanted to put his name in mine, and my mom wouldn't let him. So when she was sleeping after giving birth, he walked in and affixed his name to the end of mine that my mom gave me. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Jason Aalon.
Is it a Latin thing?
Nah, I don't know. My dad says it's French, but I've never heard of anybody with the name Aalon in France. So I think he's just making shit up.
Nice.
Interesting. Could be. My biological name is Francisco Javier Oliveira. Sometimes these Latin guys, they just like, can you make it a little long? I can't fit that on a check, man.
And you need to put Rodriguez at the end of it, too, because there's 4, right? There's 4 in the Latin world. There's 4 names.
First of all, man, congratulations. And I hope this is for public knowledge. You guys just signed to Roadrunner Records, which is like one of the most legendary hard rock, metal, like edgy, cool labels on the face of the planet. Congratulations on that.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, it's really cool. We had started this with our own little 333 Records crew, and then they came with us, and we just said, we wanted to hold on to that, and all of our creative and this, that, and the other, and they were down to have this sort of partnership, and they've been nothing but supportive and amazing and helpful. So we're very lucky and very thankful to be a part of that team.
So I have a theory about the 333 thing. I think that you guys are just trying to one up Barker from Blink 182 by saying, "Hey, look, we got another 100 in our name."
Our number's bigger. What's the deal with 333?
Yeah, that's it. We just want to one up Travis Barker. That's it. No, it actually has so 3 is the third letter in the alphabet, and C is the third letter in the alphabet, and the three threes behind the fever represent the 3 C's, which are community, charity, and change, which is a contingent piece of everything we do as a band and as a project and collective. So, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Were you on this mission to evoke change under the old regime? I mean, I know that you have a background with Letlive of being a really intense guy on stage. You sing from a point of pride and passion. You have a bit of a history in the straight edge lifestyle. I'm curious about what that means to you. But, I mean, prior to Trump, were you still like, man, the government's still jacked up. We still got to change it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, on welfare and, and food stamps and, public housing. So my sort of understanding of the institution that is the Western world, at least in America, has always been one that's I've always been suspicious of it. And so I've been active. I've, been protesting and wiping the eyes of those, that getting maced in the front lines and talking shit for quite some time now. So, the Letlive thing, that was actually, that was also involved in Letlive as well, but I just don't think that the message was as distilled as it is in the Fever 333, which is kind of what led to this project coming to fruition, really.
So, go ahead.
Well, no, with this, so I've of course, we saw you at Kill Pop a few weeks ago. We were there, and then I listened to a little Letlive because I'm sorry, but I was unfamiliar with it, and knowing that we were going to be talking to you, I'm like, okay, let me understand a little history, a little background, and then so of course I'm going to do a little reading because you realize that I don't know, Jave didn't say it yet, but I'm a civilian in this. I don't work in the music industry. Okay, I have a day job. I work for the man, right? I work for a major corporation, and I go to work every day. Fortunately, I dress like this at my job, but no, I listened to some of the Letlive, and I read about the fact that part of the reason Letlive is no longer live is is problems with like every band with personalities and things like that. What's the dynamic with this new group versus that old group?
With the Fever 333, essentially I was, given an opportunity to say what it is I felt needed to be said, through the use of music and art and a vision, and all those involved are very supportive and understanding, and really just kind of like allowing me to kind of, like I said, act in a way that perhaps would be seen a bit radical or very left leaning. So with this, I guess I wouldn't even call it like the power sharing dynamic as such. It's just more so, I guess, more of a supportive and understanding scenario for me to be able to really do the things and say the things that I've been doing and saying.
Now, tell me about the straight edge lifestyle. I'm curious because I don't know enough about it. I know for a while when my kids were in high school, there was talk about this straight edge gang and how they didn't drink, they didn't smoke, they didn't do drugs. I don't know if sex was part of the don't do's, but they were also really kind of violent to people who did. What is straight edge?
Are y'all?
Go easy. I'm drinking.
Are y'all
beer.
in Reno?
Yeah.
Are you guys in Reno?
Yeah.
So you've got like militant straight edge. You've got like hardliners. You've got dudes with red X's on their hands. Like that's well known in Reno. For myself and where I'm from the West Coast. We didn't really practice too much militance with our straight edge lifestyle or subscriptions. We just, it was something that I identified with from a young age, and it really kind of led me through hardcore and punk rock and kept my mind right, when sort of participating in the culture. And it also just appealed to me because to me it was like really, really sort of aberrant and anti what I was seeing around me, especially with, anything from something that could be corporatized like, an Anheuser-Busch to actually just having my mind right when I was trying to be at these protests, when I was trying to write the music. And by no means at all do I think that it's something that should be applied to everybody's lifestyle or that everyone needs to be straight edge. I really could care less what people do or don't do with their lives as long as it's not encroaching on others. That's really how I feel anyone should be free to live their lives. But for me, straight edge was something I identified with at a young age, and it had a big part of who I was growing up and carried me through all the years. So that's my relationship with the straight edge. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't do drugs, right?
No, I do not.
Do you occasionally have a cocktail at the end of the day?
I do not. No, okay. I've never have.
do you do a nice ribeye medium rare on the grill?
I do not.
Oh,
no.
son of a gun!
2 in a row now.
Yeah. No. Veganism isn't part of the straight edge sort of itinerary, but nah, I don't participate in that either.
So we need to make sure that when Dorothy comes to town, that the Fever guys are there as well, so that
it's more portobellos all around.
That's right.
Portobellos on the grill,
right? Listen, Jason, you're known for being insanely physical in concert. Have you ever gotten yourself into a pickle while climbing scaffolding or really hurt yourself? And if so, tell me the worst experience where you gone, oh man, I screwed this one up.
Yeah, I put my hand through a window in Vegas, and when I pulled it out, a shard of glass went through the bottom of my arm and out the top, and I severed my median nerve and flexor tendon, and I had to get a microsurgery to put a conduit in my arm and try to make my hand work again. So
now, was that on stage?
Yeah, that was on stage. Yeah, I was in a very I was at sea, as they say. I was in a weird place at the time of my life emotionally, and it just kind of came out and manifested itself a little hazardously on stage, and that's what happened to me. So yeah, I had to have a surgery, and I was in Lubbock, Texas.
Oh wow!
Of all places,
at Jake's maybe.
It was at Jake's.
Jake's back room. Yeah.
It was. Yep, at Jake's. Yeah.
I know this industry very well. I know the cities that everybody plays in too.
Yeah. Seriously.
So, speaking of that, right? Because you are intense on stage, and you do seem to put everything into it. We had the pleasure actually of interviewing Rod Stewart and Cyndi Lauper a few weeks ago. Legends in the music industry, right? And it's a question that I asked of them. And so as a relatively young man, especially compared to them and their history, what do you do to care for your voice?
Right.
You know, honestly, I haven't done I haven't done much, to be 100% honest. There's not anything I'm really proud of. I just don't really take much consideration when taking care of my voice. But I think I'm going to start. I think that I will. I just sleep, man. Like, just sleep is like my best friend when trying to take care of my voice. Really, I don't really do warm ups or warm downs or anything like that. Every once in a while, like our TM or friends, in the camp will offer me some tea, and I will accept that. But nothing really, man. I don't have much of a routine, but I should. I think I should.
Yeah, if you talk to them, you'll know.
Yeah.
How do
yeah.
you perform when you're in your 60s and your 70s? If you still can, right? Obviously,
right.
Your style of music might not lend itself well to that, but you may evolve.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's kind of in my life overall. I'm just trying to figure out how to care better for my body, my mind, and my soul. So I think, I think those all kind of go hand in hand, from on stage and off. So
was there a conscious decision to write a record and have a sound that resembles bands like Rage Against the Machine and Linkin Park? And when I say that, I'm not trying to pull a diss here or saying you guys are trying to copy anybody. What I'm saying is, perhaps they were big influences on you. And if so, was it purposeful to go, wow, there's no new Rage Against the Machine. Linkin Park might never make another record, and certainly not without with Chester. Let's fill that gap.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it happened. It just so happened, especially with the Linkin Park thing, like that just so happened to be the scenario that we fell into because we had already been creating music. The music we had before, the tragedy that was Chester's passing. So, but prior to that, of course, Rage Against the Machine's, sort of like their legacy and what they offered to music and I guess just like politically and culturally, we were absolutely very mindful of sort of perhaps maybe being a gap at least in the mainstream for music like that. And if we could, I don't want to be presumptuous by any means, but it would be nice to be able to offer some sort of filler for that void that may exist in popular music. That is saying, or that is hoping that we get to that level. That would be rad. But right now, it's the most important thing is just offering anybody that wants to think or feel, wants to be subversive, and wants to challenge the current state of things, politically, sociopolitically, culturally. Then we just want to offer a safe space for that. Ultimately,
can we talk politics real quick without getting too emotionally charged?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think about the recent announcement with the VA secretary out because he was, using public funds to go vacationing, and the new VA secretary in? Is that a good thing? Is this indicative of somebody coming in there being the ultimate punk in government and saying, we're not going to put up with this shit anymore?
Lie, you're out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that there's a standard that people should be held to, especially in politics. Especially in, our most notable offices, our most scrutinized offices. And I think that showing that there is a consequence to, misbehavior in office, and it being represented on such a large platform and scale. Yeah, I think that if anything, at least it gives us hope that people are being held to a standard that we as citizens, we don't get that many, get out of jail free passes, and we don't get seen, I guess even on a street level, we really don't find ourselves getting that much relief and allowance by authority and these institutions. So I don't really see why those in higher positions should see any less consequence than we do as citizens. So yeah, no, I think it's a good thing.
Do you care that Donald Trump stooped Stormy Daniels?
Yeah. I mean, when discussing him and the things that he does, it would be a long conversation. It would go from like one scenario to another with this. So I'll just say that I have a distaste for mostly everything he does. Yeah.
All right, fair enough, man. Fair enough. So yoga or weights?
Yoga.
Okay.
Even though I don't.
That was
do
easy.
It.
I could have picked that one.
Yeah.
Seriously, no. Honestly, the guy runs around like a crazy man on stage, right? And so, oddly enough, I used to do weights. Now I do yoga.
Yeah. Yoga's good. I'm like, Oh yeah. I did jujitsu for a while. So
Oh, no way. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
can you drink coffee? I mean, you're not like it's the straight edge thing. It doesn't go on to the Mormonism thing. It's like no caffeine, man.
Nah.
Like you
And
need
again,
caffeine.
no. Yeah. Actually, here's the thing. All of my choices, especially like dietary or my lifestyle, they're not by no means are they guided by the straight edge. It just so happens to fall under that. I don't drink coffee though. No, I don't even drink
That's
coffee.
too bad.
I can't remember a day when I didn't drink coffee. My parents gave me coffee for the first time at the age of like 3.
Really?
Man.
Yeah.
Okay, oatmeal or Frosted Flakes?
Now,
Yeah.
oatmeal. Now, oatmeal. Yeah.
But last week, waking up,
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah.
almond milk, soy milk.
Almond milk for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wife's a big almond milk fan. She used to be a big
Yeah.
soy milk fan, and then something about libido was out in the
really?
public, and she's like, "Oh,
Of
stop
course,
that!
yeah.
You can't have that."
I'm not a
stuff."
fan of soy.
Yeah.
In anything.
Yeah.
Right? In anything.
Hey, Jason, congratulations again on the new record.
Thank you, brother.
And Andy was saying, we saw you guys down in Vegas, and just an incredible, intense live show. Can't wait to see you guys
Thank
going
you.
out. What's the summer going to look like as far as you guys going out on the road and going to some communities you've never been to before?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we'll be, we're doing these festivals to start the summer. I believe we'll be involved in much of the festival season throughout the States as well as abroad. I think we're looking into like UK and Europe festivals. So, in the interim in between those dates, we'll be having our own demonstrations throughout various countries and regions and territories, and just really trying to spread this message and share the movement with as many people as possible. So
Right on. Made in America, not in, and A-N, America.
Made in America.
Is
There you
available wherever you steal music. Or get music otherwise. Go buy a
you
T-shirt,
go.
man. That's actually
Yeah,
gonna
buy a T-shirt.
Go to the
True.
guy's bottom line. Jason, great to catch up with you, man. Hope to see you very, very soon. And
Thanks so much, guys.
Take care of yourself. Don't get too crazy, bro. Don't change. Don't change.
I won't. Thanks,
Cheers,
boys.
man.
See you, brother.
All right, peace.